Hey everybody, welcome back to The Boring Show. I'm Andrew Brogdon from the Flutter team, and with me is...
Emily Fortuna, also with the Flutter team.
Yes, it's the all-redhead dream team that you've been waiting for. More ginger than Grandma's chana masala. Here we go. All right, so today we're going to continue our Barometer plugin development. So last time, where did we wrap it up? We had a Dart interface, right? What else did we have?
You could get one reading, or a single reading when you press the button for to get your pressure.
Okay, and we had it implemented on Java but not on iOS.
Yes.
Okay. Well, cool. So next step, let's get it implemented for iOS and show how that works.
Yeah, so I think we'll get it implemented in iOS, then we can publish that just so that you all can see the process for the through line. Now we recognize that the current API is not ideal. You probably don't just want to get one pressure reading and then be like, I'm good, my app does pressure. Yeah. So then we'd like to update our API to have streams on the Android and iOS.
Flutter is all about the reactive programming and streams, very native to Flutter. Okay.
And we'll throw in some questions, or answers to questions. Maybe some questions.
Maybe some questions.
And not answer them.
All right, so that's a good review. Let's review the code as well. So we had an app here that was using, let's start with the plugin. So we had our Barometer plugin, which is, let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, too big. So it's very simple. It was just pulling still had that leftover platform version getter in there, which we should probably take out.
That'll be in our API cleanup after this.
We'll take care of that. But it had get barometer and initialize barometer. And so it was initializing the barometer, and then in Java land, it was just kind of kicking off when you initialized. It would go get the sensor, register a listener that would update a little variable, and then anytime you called in to get the value, it would just be like, oh, here's the latest value. There you go. I have one right here.
And all this is tied together with your the methods. Method channels.
Yes.
So we're just kind of doing a little message passing.
So we have on method call right here, where we're checking the method that Dart is trying to call, and then returning a result based on which method it is and calling the right Java function in response. So I basically need to go implement this in iOS land.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, no problem. I have literally days of iOS experience. This will be fun. So, much like the plugin has an Android folder, it also has an iOS folder. And one of the nice things you can do is right-click on that, or double-click with two fingers, and open in Xcode.
And before you dive into this too much, I just want to reiterate that plugin development is a probably more advanced topic than you would need for your average Flutter app in ideal world. And probably most times in practice, you're just going to be able to write your app and then say, oh, I need a plugin to do X, and then you search, and someone will have already implemented it for you. This is in the rare off case that you need to emergency measure air pressure. No one's done that yet.
You're in a hot air balloon, and you need to calculate how high you are, something like that.
Shooting off in a rocket ship.
Because we're interacting with a platform API, and for platform APIs, you kind of have to talk to the platform for that. There's no getting around it, but I imagine as Flutter matures, you'll start seeing more and more dedicated, written in Dart SDKs for things like networked services and things like that. So that's something I look forward to seeing in the future.
But this is in that rare case that, you're taking a trip to space, you need your air pressure. We can help you see how to do a plugin for that.
All right, let me see about setting up the font size for this. There we go. Hello, code. Okay, so this is the iOS version of the plugin that we were just looking at in Android land.
In ObjectiveC, we should mention. You can program your plugins in Swift and Kotlin. We're doing ObjectiveC in Java for this particular case.
All right, so what are we doing here? We've got the Barometer plugin class, and that's being called, we have a register with registrar class method that's getting called, and that's making a method channel. So here's that barometer name. If you remember, back in our Dart code, we had a method channel we called barometer. So here we're spinning up the sort of other end of that channel to listen for messages. And we make an instance of the Barometer plugin class to handle the actual work and add a method called delegate. So we got this that kind of sets things up, and then here's an instance method that's handling the method calls. Very similar to what we saw in Java, looks like. So let's get right into it. I got to add some stuff to this, right? So I need to add, just like before, I need to add some things. So if, what are our methods called? That would be a good thing for me to remember. I think initialize barometer.
Initialize barometer, and then I think it's just reading, I think is what we called the other. I will pull it up.
Oh, got an extra bracket in there. Is equal to string called out method. Take you out. Boop, there we go. And so that's going to do some stuff. And then I need another one of these constructions for the next one.
Yes. And I need to say, yeah, which is, we were calling it get barometer.
Okay. So I've initialized barometer and get barometer. And so these are checking the name of the method that Dart is attempting to call, and then we need to do stuff. So,
we're done, right?
Yeah, piece of cake. So let's see, we're going to need, how does the barometer work? This is our old code, which I was checking out. It's CM altimeter, I believe, from core motion is what we're looking for. And so an object that initiates the delivery of altitude-related changes. That sounds fancy. And so I think this is the equivalent of the sensor that we'd be accessing on Android. So we have a class. We'll need to instantiate one of these, and we'll need to start relative altitude updates.
Seems like what we're interested in.
Okay. So let's declare some. We can put instance variables in, right? IVARs.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll want, what does this return in? So if you recall from last time, there's this chart for Flutter that tells you what the types are for platform channels. Yeah. So let me see. So I want a double on the Dart side. So what do I need to give it on the iOS side? Already zoomed in and everything because I was showing this last time. So if I want a double, I need an NS number with double. Okay. So let's make an NS number pointer to and call it pressure. So that can be the thing that we just keep updating. And then I will need an altimeter. I'm scared because it's not recognizing that.
Do we need to import something?
Oh, I bet we do. I'm guessing core motion. Because it's part of core motion. Okay, so I can come up here, and it's a framework, so I do that. Import core motion, like that. We good? We're good. Okay, so I imported a class. Okay, so that's good.
Newbie question. So someone who has not really programmed much ObjectiveC, is this like a class? Is this I guess my like, oh no, global variables sense is tingling, but I don't. Maybe that's.
It's probably tingling for a reason. I believe that these are variables that will be one per class. I don't know that for a fact.
Okay, well, we can. We'll do it. We'll start this way. We will get the code out, and then we can.
I don't think it's possible for them to spin up 2 instances of the plugin, which means even if we haven't properly done this and we're polluting the global namespace on the iOS side, there's no chance that we can pollute it twice.
Sure.
But that's a good. You know what? I bet we have commenters that will tell us exactly what's going on. Just like we had someone that explained what I had not seen on the pressure sensor. Do we have? Is that on our list of comments that we were going to mention?
Yes.
Somebody mentioned it.
So, Fawad Khan, and I'm.
There we go.
Very.
We'll put a graphic. So.
Pointed out that Andrew was missing through the additional sensors, and we will, when we're doing Android, we can simulate the different pressures.
Yeah, I missed this conveniently named additional sensors tab right here that was doing So we learn from you as well. Okay, so someone can tell us if instance variables are not a good idea there. In the meantime, I'm going to use one. I'm going to press on because we...
Progress.
Yeah, we're very, we're coding without a net. Not a lot of preparating here. Preparating, yeah. Okay, so we need to make an altimeter. Stay on task, as all of my teachers used to tell me. So we'll need to allocate and initialize that, and then we'll need to subscribe to updates, right?
Yeah, and that function was called, we just said that.
Start relative altitude updates to, and it takes a queue and a handler, which are words I've heard before.
Operation queue.
Okay, so it's going to take an operation queue. Okay, so let's see.
Altimeter?
Start.
There it is.
Relative. Okay, so I'm guessing I can do. And there's a main. There's always a main. There's always a main everything. So we got that. Oh. Will you make that block? Make the block for me. There we go. Okay. Let me clean that up. And so that made a block for me, which is very helpful.
Yeah, so this is our sort of callback handler.
Right. So we're giving it a block. And that's going to get an altitude data as well as an error. We'll just assume everything's fine and just use the altitude data. So
best coding practices. Yeah. No error checking.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake. So altitude data dot. Whoa. Drag source descriptors, probably not what we're looking for. Is there?
So like a.
Let's do. Okay. There we go.
Pressure.
Okay. And what are you? Okay. Here. There you go. What are you? Can I jump to definition of something? Ooh.
Yeah.
So that's an NS number. Pressure in kilopascals.
And what was the measurement for the pressure on our Android one? Do you remember?
I know it was 1,000.
Was it?
I don't know.
So well, okay. Yeah, we'll just program. I was wondering for units.
Go for it.
I'll look at it.
That's an important thing to check. So we could occasionally when you're doing platform stuff, you're going to have platforms that behave slightly differently. So in this case, if Android uses one unit and iOS uses another, and there's a constant that you have to multiply by centigrade to Fahrenheit or something like that, those sorts of conversions, you definitely want to be aware of that. For right now, I'll just press on, assuming this is good.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I see something.
So that's going to initialize the barometer. And then here we would just, we need to return something. I remember that. This expects a Boolean. So let's do result. What is a Boolean in this? That's a good thing to ask.
NS bool or something like that?
Boolean is an NS number with bool.
No. Oh, it's just NS number. That's the variable.
That's the constructor, right?
No, but
or the initializer.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just the variable name. My bad. This is why I'm not I'm not programming this right now.
Okay, NS number, which is a term that I've heard, and so number with bool. Okay, and then yes. That looks like reasonable code, I think. Okay. And then we still need to fill in this one. So initialize barometer is going to make the altimeter, subscribe to it for updates, and update the pressure anytime it gets an update. And then get barometer needs to return the number that it's updating. Can I just do this?
That would be.
No! No, I cannot.
Return. So do we need to put it in the thing that we're... Oh, there we go.
I'm not returning something. I'm
passing the result to be returned.
Okay. Because not all 6-letter words that begin with R are the same as far as Xcode is concerned. So I can save this now. I could actually, there is a module project you can actually run from within Xcode, but I'm going to go back to our Flutter code here and run from here. So let's, okay, got an iPhone X. Let's see what we got. Now before, it would have crashed because it would have, the first thing that happens is initialize barometer gets called.
Nope.
Yeah, and the iOS code would have, you know, before we added this bit, it would have been like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. And it would have immediately crashed. It might still crash. We'll see.
Well, that's a good start.
All right. That's cool. Oh, that...
Hooray!
That is less cool.
We're in a vacuum.
I'm surprised that didn't crash. Kudos to whoever saved me and put a toString method on null. Thank you for that.
So, okay, here's the question, though.
Yeah.
I think you were saying that there's no, there's no, like, simulator for pressure with the iOS emulator. Is it
Oh,
possible
that's right.
that
There might
it
not be
doesn't-
one.
Are we getting null because, or is it because it's our fault? That's the question.
Okay, so I was worried about that. I know on Android, because someone told me exactly where to go to mess with the pressure stuff. And I actually have a hardware device this time, just in case. So let's...
Test that, and
Yeah.
then we can know whether it's us or...
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Android Studio, ironically enough. Let's stop, and let's try my hardware device and see what we get there. Is this thing on? Oh, hey, it's on. And it's getting updates from news sites. That's nice.
Do you have a mirroring thing?
I do not.
Okay.
I can take a picture of this with my Pixel, so we could do that. Like this is the real
Lo-fi,
video. See?
everything.
She's right there. It's the real device. Okay, so that's 101. That's interesting.
And we had 1,000.
It was
No,
1,013.
yeah.
So what are the units? Did you actually get a chance to look this up?
I got distracted.
Probably helping me.
Let's see here. So we have this sensor manager.
We got the recording going over here. Let me see what I can find too. So sensor, let's just do pressure, Android sensor, and see what comes up. Environment sensors.
Oh, millibar hectopascals.
HPA.
Yes.
That sounds like a stock ticker symbol. Okay,
And
so
then on iOS.
So HPA is 100 pascals. A hectopascal. I think I killed one of those playing Dungeons and Dragons once. Hectopascal. Okay, so that's 100 pascals. Do we know back here?
Didn't it say?
Okay, it's got to be on here somewhere.
CM altitude. I'll search again. Core motion sounds like an exercise routine.
Oh, there's a CM altitude data.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, you already have
I
me.
need the actual. What is the value? Oh, kilopascals. There we go.
Okay, so kilopascals versus...
Hectopascals. So we're off by order of magnitude.
Okay.
So that would be why we've got 100 versus 1,000.
Okay, so...
So the question is, which do we want to do?
So we're in the iOS code right now, so it would be easy to change that.
Yeah, and I also feel like from my, because I'm such a air pressure expert, I feel like the 1,013 that's like sea level. That's like the more standard way that I normally see it reported.
I will take your nautical knowledge This will also be fun because people get to watch me try and do math with an NS number. So first we want to get the double value of it and then multiply
Times
that.
10.
But then we have to make another NS number out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So NS number with bool, with double. Does that work? Let's save. And go back to Android Studio and stop and start.
Real-time recording happening now.
Yep. Here we go. So there's my code.
Build.
I borrowed this device from the test lab. It's all just Flutter icons from various sample apps and test apps that people made.
It's like we've been working or something.
So there we go. This is, I'm sure the video production people in the room are very happy to see me doing this, by the way. Here's our latest reading.
Okay, so nothing and
1,013. All right.
Woohoo! And we're
Cool.
around sea level, and that kind of makes sense.
All right. So
Nicely done. Ship
I
it.
think yeah. Piece of cake. End of episode. No. All right. So that's task 1 down for today. So we just finished up adding just the iOS code underneath the Dart interface that we'd written. So it was just opening up some files in Xcode, adding a little bit of code here to handle those methods, interact with the platform, which is the purpose of the plugin, and then shipping those numbers back to Dartland.
So I think we are ready to share this with the world.
All right. So you wanna get started publishing it?
Yes.
All right.